and welcome to Generic Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the Goose, Josh.
And I'm John, who hasn't picked a nickname yet.
I mean, picking a nickname and
I earned a nickname. Yeah, right. It's not really a nickname if you pick one.
I was gonna say you started calling me a silly goose, so that's kind of where this came from. So and I've stuck with it. So so today on Generic Sports Podcast, we're gonna be talking about the news, just like this weekend news, so we can kind of give you the overall generic sports livelihood. You know, you're gonna talk a little everything.
Yes, we're going to talk more. We're going to talk more than the NFL this week. We promise.
Yes, college football. No, we will have some college football because I mean, college football is the season. We're gonna talk some baseball, a little NBA, little of everything that we want to talk about that we felt like was pretty newsworthy right now. So to start, we'll just go with baseball because the baseball season's coming to an end here soon. There's for what it's worth, there's still a lot of games left, but there isn't a lot of games left because I know the
certain
Series,
teams,
coming up. So.
Yeah, there's probably only a few teams that can still make it. Too many teams are too far back, and too many teams are too way ahead.
Yeah, I mean the Yankees and the Red Sox aren't making it. They're at the bottom, fighting between each other for who has last place.
That's the last time that happened.
That's a good question. For the most part, we're gonna talk about my favorite team, the Braves, just because. First, they're my favorite. Second, they've got they have a ton of great players, like Michael Harris Jr. and Ronald Acuna Jr. and Matt Olson, and those are the top ones that come to my mind right now. They are a great overall team. They've got so many, everybody can everybody can hit. Like they are scoring and winning these games, and well, that comes down to it. I know I mentioned a couple of the guys who we're going to talk about. First, it was Ronald Acuna Jr., and then we're going to also talk about Matt Olson. They are both up for the MVP, and I mean, in at least the NL MVP. And the Braves won the East in the National League for the 6th straight year in a row. So woo Braves. Funny story. Actually, I'll just share this with the Braves. I forget if I mentioned it in our first podcast, but I would come home to watch Saved by the Bell when I was growing up. It was always on TBS, and during some parts of the year, during baseball season, I didn't really understand how seasons worked, but back then, during baseball season, they would interrupt it, and there would be Braves baseball. So I'd be watching Chipper Jones and the Braves. So I was I never I originally I didn't care. I'm like, oh, why are they interrupting my TV show? And then I enjoy them. So it's like I'd watch them. So they kind of stuck with me because TBS Turner, they come from Atlanta. So that's how that all came about. So first we got just putting it out there, you got Ronald Acuna Jr. versus Matt Olson. Acuna Jr. is doing great. He's got 95 RBI. He's got and 36 home runs. Very impressive. He's got 195 hits. Very, very impressive, with his average being 33.6. As far as last time I checked, I might be higher. There might be more. Last time I checked the stats, this is what I saw, and I know I'm missing a couple games. I'm sure. But let's just say that is really great. But with Matt Olson, he's not hitting as high, and he's got but that's about it. He's got also less hits, but he's also got 128 runs batted in, and he's got 154 hits, and his home runs is at 51. So these two guys, if they would be if they were on separate teams, they'd be whoa, look at this guy, and whoa, look at this guy, but they're on the same team, so it's there's just so much talent right there. That's just amazing. So I'm sure I personally think it's gonna go to Matt Olson. I mean, the home runs, come down just like a touchdown, but
they have the talent the Angels wish they had.
Let's get started on the talent and how much we,
Shohei deserves better.
Shohei does deserve better, and I was mistaken. I did double check. Now Acuna's at 199 hits. Very impressive, but only it's got 97 runs batted in, and he's got 37 home runs now. But that being said, I still think Olson has it, and the poor for Angels, like we live in we live in the Vegas area, so we get the California sports package. You know, watch like the Dodgers, the Padres, and all these other teams, and it's so sad to turn on an Angels game when football wasn't going and see them like doing good and then and hitting, and then it all comes apart.
Right, if we want to see Shohei win, at least we watched the World Baseball Championship and actually saw him win. But
right, I mean, I also want to see Mike Trout win, but you can't have both.
But so it's like the Angels, like we turn it on and they'd lose. It's like, why? They have two of the best players in the league, because you need more than just two of the best players in the league.
Right? I don't know what the Angels are gonna do. I do think it's I can't imagine it the Shohei Otani era in with the Angels past this season. So, and I don't know what's gonna happen to Mike Trout, but like I know sometimes you want to stay with one team, but really want to see you guys win a championship. I mean, not that the Braves need any help, but I'd like to see them go to I would love any of my favorite players going to be a Brave. I mean, like I said, we want to trying to cover more baseball. We want to hear from you. Like, what would you like us to cover more baseball? That's our little foray into baseball.
Just another quick thing with baseball. I'm a Marlins fan. They're not doing great, so I don't really need to say much.
They were doing really well in the beginning of the year. Where are they right now?
I think they're a little over 500. I think it's like 75 and 72 or something like that.
I mean, with the way baseball is, like they might still
they might still make it, but yeah. I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
I know there's such a log jam between like a lot of the teams. Like I know Cincinnati was doing well, and Seattle, and there's a lot of teams that were just doing well that they not every team can make it. So.
Right, and they're currently playing the Braves, so.
I mean, last time I checked, it was 0-0.
I mean, it just started at the time of recording this, but
okay,
or like at least was in the first. So. But yeah, that is baseball for us.
So next up, let's jump into I guess the big news of the week. Well, one of the big news of the week, because feels like a short week because of how much news has really been going around. But we didn't cover it on our last podcast because we were recording on Monday before Monday Night Football. And well, though the good news is the Jets won. If you didn't hear, bad news is Aaron Rodgers got hurt on the technical fourth play of the game, but with that penalty, it was like there was only 3 offensive snaps or something like that.
I mean, to be fair, it was just bad. It was just bad news all over, depending on where your team is in the NFL. But it's not good news the Jets won for me. But
right,
to be fair, there was no winners when your rivals play each other.
True.
I was hoping for that tie, and then the Jets won that. I was so close.
What, Xavier Gibson and stuff like that was that was a great punt return. I know his story. Like I didn't watch Hard Knocks, but I remember hearing like the coach just called him in, like the coach Sala and the GM called him in, and it looked like they basically got him like said like, no, you made the team, like congratulations. And he looked like he was ready to go. So I'm happy for a player like that, and also just want to say that a few things because we're trying to cover a lot of news here. First, I'm blanking on, I don't know his first name, but Whitehead made his money. He got his contract. He got it's like if he made 3 interceptions in the season, like he gets an extra like 250 or 275,000 or something like that. And he did it all in one game. So I don't know. Would it be wrong for him to buy a drink for Josh Allen?
I just want to say, it's like, here's the thing I wanted to say with Xavier Gibson. Special teams is the third phase of the game, and you have to be good on special teams, or you lose games like that.
I mean, that was a big talk of our last podcast, was special teams really matter. And when you're really looking at the game and seeing like I said with the Broncos, they lost by 4. Those 4 points came on special teams.
And I mean, even in even in the Super Bowl, Kadarius Toney, who had a much better performance than he did on Thursday night, he got the punt return, kickoff return, I forget whichever one he did, but got them so close because you can't stop them on special teams. Their offense gets better positioning, and you get screwed.
Right. So now, as far as Aaron Rodgers, he had successful surgery.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to make it out where he wants to, he's hopeful that he could come back for the playoffs.
Well, that depends if they make it.
It depends on if they make it.
I mean, they have the pieces. They just don't have the quarterback or the O-line.
The O-line.
Mm-hmm.
Because, that might have been a preventable injury if they did have an O-line like that. The guy went in unblocked.
And they have to face the Cowboys and their unstoppable pressure.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yikes indeed. So besides that, let's
But we hope Aaron does get well soon. I did want the Dolphins to beat him.
Right.
Have the opportunity to play against him.
I mean, I'm gonna admit and say oh man, could you imagine if Aaron Rodgers had an opener like Russell Wilson or a worse one? And I'm like, this is not what I meant by worse. The football gods, I'm not gonna lie. The football gods did not listen to me. The football gods, listened to all of the media hype and were like, I'm bored with it.
We got tired of everyone talking about Aaron Rodgers that, yeah, you're not getting him. So much hype for him. And now he didn't even play that much. And this is and it comes crashing down now.
Yep. As far as the Jets go, they're going to stick with Zach Wilson. And I think that's smart. We'll see. We'll cover more and let you know our thoughts in a future podcast if they should get another quarterback. But we're going to wait and see how they look against the Cowboys, honestly.
Right. Which defensively, I see them looking good. Offensively, I don't know if they might. I hope they don't lose Zach Wilson too.
Ooh, that hasn't even come up as a thought. That being said, let's just stick with the football talk and move into last night's game, Thursday night football for week 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get too into it because we can talk about it in another podcast. But
you want to start with the rule
okay, first of all, there was a lot of ugly turnovers by both teams. Second of all, I'm not sure about trusting the Eagles. You cannot just run Jalen Hurts. You got running backs like DeAndre Swift. Thank goodness they figured that out. But
yeah, that was a really good thing they did figure out. But to go with Jalen Hurts, it's these quarterbacks that like to run, they need to figure out that you can throw the ball. You don't need to run first. It does not need to be your first option in your head. That you can, I mean, if you have nothing, it's fine to run. But we saw on so many of these plays of Jalen Hurts, he had open guys. Now maybe he didn't see those guys, but he was running where he should be throwing.
Right, he's not looking like that MVP runner-up from last season. And I just gotta say, no, Kirk Cousins played the better game. I know we're gonna try and wins are important. I get it. That's why you play the game. But I heard some of these other people on the sports shows say yeah, the wins the only thing that matters. But can we we want to appreciate good football and good play. Let's talk about Kirk Cousins. He played good. He didn't win the game, but it also wasn't his fault. He gave up one fumble.
Why doesn't he get the same benefit of the doubt Patrick Mahomes does? The wide receivers drop the ball on Patrick Mahomes. The running backs and wide receivers fumbled or turned the ball over on Kirk Cousins. It's not Kirk Cousins' fault on some of these.
Because Kirk Cousins, well, first he can't win in prime time. That's one of the biggest things. But that's honestly probably, and the second thing is he hasn't won a Super Bowl or many playoff games, or I don't know if he has won a playoff game. But that's the thing. Kirk, I keep saying, I heard that I'm not gonna mention names, but I heard one of the sports talk people saying this should be the end for Kirk Cousins. And I'm just but why? Do you have who? Can you he's a top half or even better quarterback. He throws for 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. I mean, look at Justin Herbert. He and Mac Jones. They threw for a lot. They didn't get 4 touchdowns, but those teams also lost the game. You want yeah, winning is a team sport. That's the thing. It's like a lot of other people let down that team, and it was just Jefferson fumbled, and a couple other players fumbled too. Kirk was a quarter of that, but like there was a lot of fumbling, and that is bad.
They have 6 turnovers in 2 games. The Vikings. That is
This is just the first half. So I don't.
No, throughout both games.
Okay.
Throughout both games, and that's just not. I mean, they lost the turnover differential last, even though they had a winning record, and now it's like they haven't grown past that. Like they're not winning these games they won last season, but the Eagles have barely won these games. They like their opponents like still stay in these games,
right? And like they were saying like, oh, is Kirk gonna get traded, or like is this the end for Kirk? But I'm like, so,
who are they trading for? Who's their backup?
I guess maybe trade Zach Wilson for Kirk in New York, and I'm like, is that really the key? Because like there's so much great talent on there, so it's like that the coaching might be the problem. That's what I'm hearing. If you think Kirk can win in New York, that means coaching. And
how is Kirk supposed to do better under a worse O-line?
Right? I mean, I don't think New York has better weapons than the Vikings.
They are not better. I mean, Jordan Addison looked great last night, and you have Justin Jefferson, who's arguably the best wide receiver in football, next to Tyreek Hill.
Right? And I'd say DeMar Chase.
And
let's not count week 1 against anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like I said, I don't want to get we're getting into it a little bit. But where are you supposed to go with
I don't think there is a.
Who can you say is better than Kirk Cousins? Okay, let's count it. It's like, okay, Mahomes, Burrow,
Tua,
Justin Herbert. Like, I mean, maybe Justin Herbert. He might be on, just because he gets some flashier wins. I mean, like, and can throw the ball a bit better. Like,
I'm still. Well, we're not getting into Justin Herbert. I think a lot of part of his problem might just be Brandon Staley. Like,
but I'm just thinking, I'm like, well, right now I can't count Aaron Rodgers, and I'm like,
there is no available quarterback that you could trade for that is like better than Kirk Cousins.
Like, I'm just looking at the top. I'm just thinking, like, I think Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback. He's around like 8-10, but like, I mean, Brock Purdy's doing good, but like, I feel like he's around the Brock Purdy level. I would take him over right now. Like, I would take him over Dak. I would take, like, Jordan Love has that way. Like, he's a lot of unknown.
I mean, Kirk Cousins played better. You said he had what, 4 touchdowns in this last game? He played better than Josh Allen.
Yeah, I didn't say Josh Allen on this list because Josh Allen gives away the ball a lot. I don't know. Like, I really so he's not winning, but I don't think that makes it like, oh, it's over, his career is done, or something. Like, he's still throwing the ball.
I mean,
I that's what baffles me is like, so these like 3 rookie quarterbacks, 1 or 2 of them is probably not going to develop and stick around. I mean, I don't want to say I would put my money on who, but it's because of what college he went to, and they don't work out.
I mean, Justin Fields isn't doing that well either. I mean,
but that's
his team.
But I'm just thinking, like, so hard to get a franchise quarterback. I mean, Russ, I would take Kirk Cousins over Russ right now.
Oh, there you go. There's who you should trade for. You should trade Kirk Cousins if Russell's not doing well.
I mean, right? Oh, Lamar Jackson. I mean, I'll see about him too. So like, there's a lot.
I think your team would probably win more of the might have won week 1 if you had Kirk Cousins over.
Right. But like the Eagles one, there's a lot of questions to be asked.
Well, I mean, the Vikings need to like have less turnovers, but both their defenses, they gave up like 4 the Eagles defense gave up 4 touchdowns, and the Vikings defense gave up more. Like, these were supposed to be like good defenses. Like, I mean, they were fantastic in the first quarter. The first quarter was just so defensive that it was like horrible to watch.
And don't get me wrong, I like some good defense, but it was heavily played, not really good defense.
Yeah, right. There were so like.
So I think that's it with the NFL football. We want to talk a little bit about I just want to say a couple things about the college football. Caleb Williams is looking great. Cannot wait for him next season. Don't know. Right now, I always thought it was going to be a Cardinal. Who knows where he's going?
I mean, if the Giants don't pick up steam, he might look good in blue.
Texas beat Alabama, and they moved up to number 4 in the rankings.
It's weird hearing Alabama is struggling after so many years, but I guess you can't keep getting good quarterbacks all the time. But I think they're switching quarterbacks, so they might have a better one.
I did hear that they are going to switch quarterbacks, so we'll see what happens there. It's still early. We'll see who makes it. But Texas, after beating Alabama was in the top four, you deserve to be in the top four if that's you beat them.
Right, any team that has a loss is like, if you have a loss in in college football, it hurts your stats so much.
It does. I mean, Alabama went down to 4-10, so I mean, it was a big game. So what was it?
I just remember, what was it, the Tennessee game last season when they won and took the field goal post too.
Right, and that was a lot of for Tennessee to beat it. It was Alabama. Right?
Yeah.
And nothing really huge to talk about, except for Colorado being number 18 in the ranking, and
the Colorado State. The Colorado State head coach saying stuff he shouldn't.
They gave a coach some bulletin board material and made it personal. The worst thing you could do, those are the two worst things, but you did it to Coach Prime. You had to know Deion was going to just do everything, and he did. So he bought the glasses, he bought hats.
I didn't see hats in schools in this classroom shot that they showed.
Oh, he's going to definitely be wearing a big old hat, I'm sure. I know his son wants him to.
His son wants him to come out like Doug Dimmadome, and he. Please.
We'll have to. That's definitely going to be on the TV tomorrow.
Going to be one of the highlights.
Right, and speaking of highlights, we had the U.S. Open last weekend, which I just want to say, I know it's a big thing, but I only caught some highlights of Novak and our winners of Novak. I feel like I will butcher his last name. Djokovic, yeah. Novak. I'm just gonna stick with
You know who we're talking about in tennis.
Yes, tennis and Coco Gauff. They won. Only watched highlights of that because it was the men's was both were on during fall, college and the pros, so it was tough to watch.
It is tough to watch every sports game,
but we gotta cover the important stuff, and that was Coco Gauff's first win, first major win, and I believe that was Novak's record setting, or he at least continued his record setting, with 24 major championships in his career. So both special and amazing. So good for them.
Yeah, that was good for them. I'm glad they won.
Next up, we've got the WNBA, and we found out Diana Taurasi. I'm bad with last names. I will always try and pronounce it slowly first, but Diana Taurasi, first WNBA player to make 10,000 points in her career. So amazing accomplishment, and she says she will be returning for her 20th season.
That is impressive for the points and playing 20 seasons.
Right. Well, definitely to be the first first player to do anything is always awesome to see. Or at least to be one of the first. It's special. There's a lot of special.
Just like the Aces and the Liberty, I think, were the first two teams in the WNBA that got the 30 wins.
Right. I was about to mention that the fact that we had not just one team do it, two teams do it in a season. That is awesome. And honestly, that's not just being an Aces fan. That gets me more interested in watching the hometown team kind of does help you watch more of your team. But there's just so much great talent. I'm sure there's been great talent throughout the years, but there's a lot of great talent. Again, hopefully not butchering any names. I know Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum. I know those are Aces, but I also know Sabrina Ionescu, and it's and I know there's other great players, and I've said, there's a lot to watch sports wise, and my goal is to not just watch football as we do this podcast. It is to get out there and watch more of these sports, because there's a lot of awesome talent. We are living in a great generation of talent.
I think even part of it, I feel lately when I've watched WNBA games and NBA games, I feel like the women shoot better at times than the men, but I think they're trying too much for threes in NBA at times. Not saying anything against the NBA. I'm just saying that the women just, I think, have better game plans at times, and might maybe go for better shots.
That does happen. What was I gonna say?
But they do play less games, so they might have a better time to focus.
Right, and honestly, sometimes just like baseball and stuff, there's quality be a lot more quality games, and like those matter when you have less play in. So,
Mm-hmm.
but the Aces won on Wednesday. I know more games are going to be like tomorrow, but we've got the in round one, game one, we've got the Sun that won, the Aces, like I mentioned, the Wings, and the Liberty. I feel like if it gets there, I think it's going to be Aces versus Liberty, but I'm always up for a surprise. So
Right.
and my goal is to watch some college football and some WNBA playoffs tomorrow. So let's see. Just a quick note. John's Marlins beat my Atlanta Braves today.
As the recording has
Just a little hiccups. So we actually got done a little later than the game went as the game went on.
Yeah.
But as far as everything else goes, we talked about the WNBA. The last thing I wanted to bring up, I know we haven't even hit the preseason, but there was some NBA news I just wanted to talk about. Looks like after what happened in the FIBA, the world, I guess with the national basketball, like the world basketball,
the International Basketball
yeah.
Association, that the abbreviations only make sense in a different language.
Yes. Well, it looks like for America, like LeBron, Steph Curry, and Anthony Davis all would like to play in the Olympics. So that could be a lot of fun. I know I like nothing has felt quite as sweet as I know to a lot of people as like the dream team of the '90s. So
right.
But if you get those guys going and a few others, like that could be a lot of fun to watch the Olympic basketball. The last thing is, and this is gonna be a really weird one, but their NBA look like they passed some new resting rules.
That there were going to be fines if they don't if teams rest the star players for too long, which sounds like I understand they want to make the product they want to make the product nicer and all, except this is just like connected as what we said. You have too many games, and you can't have these players can't play all of these games.
Well, not with not when it's probably it is in some ways the most physically demanding game because of how many minutes you're usually on the court in ways. Like it's also and there's no easy changeover like hockey, like baseball and football. Like you're playing like maybe 5-10 minutes give or take. You only play. You're not playing everywhere. Like defense goes up, offense goes up. Same thing like infield.
You
outfield,
might. I mean, football and baseball, you might have small windows that are particularly long, but during a normal stretch, it's much shorter than basketball.
Yeah, especially like hitting, like it's one person and then there's like 9, so it's like you get time to you warm up. So it's like when you're hitting and stuff like that. So
but yeah, you're like active for like what 60 minutes, close to like 40 minutes.
It's like 48, and I think it's like 12-minute half or something like that.
Well, so you're active
12-minute quarter.
So you're active for about over a half hour or over 30 minutes.
Yeah, especially some of these players when they're minutes. It's like that's really heavy. Like that and sometimes you play back to back, so like it's hard to do. I get it, especially the players that go up. They're getting older and stuff like it makes things like I hate when like it's like don't punish that these players need rest. Maybe better your schedule. Maybe don't put as many games. Sometimes these players do need a little bit more of a rest, and I get it. There's money. It's a business, but like you can't complain. You want the best product that you can put out there, so maybe they need a little bit more rest.
They're never going to cut games because of money. Just like baseball's never going to cut games because of money.
Yep.
The problem is that they have too many. The NBA has too many games, and like they want to rest like the players for the playoffs. So because sometimes players play too much to get in and to get into the playoffs, and that some teams don't win because they played too much in the regular season.
Other little quick news. Little soccer news. Lionel Messi. I know. It's like I know it was Messi, but it's like, did I mess up his first name? He's not traveling with Miami to Atlanta for their game. I know he's been hot. Like he's definitely been helping the American soccer.
Yeah, he's been the draw.
He has been a draw. So So just keeping that in mind. So as far as anything else, the last little bit that we like to talk about with you is just we're wrestling fans. Nothing. There are few major things. Don't want to get too into it because we could do a whole podcast on wrestling. But The Rock returned with Pat McAfee because they were on the Pat McAfee show in Boulder, Colorado. Because obviously because of Dion and stuff. So it was great to see them. A little John Cena, The Rock, little moment. Don't want to spoil anything about what else has happened, but just check out SmackDown if you haven't. And the only other thing that I really want to say is congratulations to Gunther, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, breaking the Honky Tonk Man's 454-day record. He beat Chad Gable like last week, and but he wasn't going to defend it anymore after that. So he was bound to break it, but it just feels like it's official. I didn't really want to we want to mention it now. I don't know how much longer he's going to hold it for, because I do think
this feud is going to, I feel, is going to lead to Chad winning the title. It feels like storybook, and it's the whole David versus Goliath angle, and the crowd's been really behind Chad lately.
Yeah, well, Chad's been a great performer. He can get it's been fun. It's been great. I love seeing him. I've loved Chad Gable for years. So congratulations to Gunther. I cannot wait to see what happens to you after you lose the Intercontinental Championship, because there's a lot of people who should take the belt off as one of the world champions, and you could definitely be the one to take it off Seth Rollins,
or Roman Reigns. He's good enough to take it off anyone. Gunther is I've never seen a bad match from him.
True, you're not wrong, but Gunther is on Raw. Seth is on Raw. I feel like they would keep him on Raw. So
it really depends on where things go. But
that's a whole nother conversation about how many hot stars they have. I'm just going to throw out that they with some of the stuff, I've heard rumors that there might be some more stuff going on, but I don't want this for the news for fact. And I just want to say that the fact is, right now there are a lot of great superstars. Let's just say LA Knight, just in the men's division, LA Knight, Gunther, Damian Priest, Cody Rhodes, Finn Balor, all of these people could be world champion, including Dominic Mysterio.
You also have Tommaso Ciampa and Ricochet, and
I'd like to at least see them win. Ricochet is going to be interesting. I could see him. Ciampa, I do enjoy Ciampa, but I want to see if he can. I think he needs a little bit more time before I see world champion, but I do think he has the potential to be it.
He was a solid NXT champion. So.
Yeah.
But you also have Shinsuke and any member of the New Day.
Yeah, there's too much talent right now. So I don't think we need to get too into it, because I was just wanted to say about Gunther and breaking the Honky Tonk Man's record, and I think we accomplished that. But we'll if you'd like us to do a little bit more of a deep dive on wrestling, let us know. We at least want to do an episode. So if you want it sooner, please let us know, and we'll get it out a lot sooner than planned. So there's no other news. I think we'll wrap it up.
I think that covers everything we had to say.
Awesome. Well, thank you for listening to us, and we hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you here next time. Please like, share, subscribe, and have a great day.